I'm here to part two of guest etiquette, and as I defined etiquette in my part one is social behavior conventions which are accepted in polite society. It is accepted behavior which should be observed, and so that we are able to be comfortable even as we relate with others in certain settings, in certain occasions, which demands certain behavior. Now, if you remember, as I said, guests like fish begin to smell after 3 days, as Benjamin Franklin said. So please, you don't overstay your visit. Otherwise, you are going to offend your host. Now, when you are to a host place, what are some of the etiquettes? How should you conduct yourself? How should you behave? One of the things which you should observe, you should respect common places. What do I mean by common places? Where we have got lights, please make sure that when you are not using the lights, you switch it off. When it comes to the toilet, make sure that you don't misuse the toilets. Don't just leave the toilets without flushing. Make sure you flush the toilets. Then, when you are at your host place, make sure, please, you don't get another invitation from another person unless you have been cleared by your host. It is not good manners for you to do that. When you are to a host place, make sure also you don't use his computer or laptop or his phone without him or her allowing you. Make sure, please, you observe that. When it comes now to hot water, don't overuse the hot water. Remember, there is the cost implication. There is the hot shower, and they have to pay the bill. Don't just run the hot water just for nothing. Make sure you just use it, and after finishing, you just switch it off. Now, when it comes to the personal space, you should also remember that your host may not have all the time with you. One time, you would also like to have some time for meditation, to have some time, a space to think over on some things, to be on his own. So don't be expecting too much from your host that is going to have 10 hours with you. Remember, he has also sacrificed even to allow you to come and interfere with his daily routine. Another point, please, when you are there, never open someone's fridge. It is not your business. Even if you feel you are close to your visitor, to your host, please don't interfere with the fridge or other accessories unless they allow you. Don't also interfere with their pets. Yes. Now when it comes to dressing, please, it is very, very important to observe dressing. When it comes to ladies, even if you're in a pajama, even if you're in a bathroom, please make sure you have your bras underneath those garments. And you also make sure that even if it is night dress, don't have a transparent night dress. Then you find yourself, you are walking around without even going for breakfast and leaving little to the imagination to your hosts. Remember, there are even children there. If it comes to men, please don't be walking around with your boxers or with your underwear. It's important to observe this sort of dressing so that you don't offend your host. Now, when you come, as I mentioned, or I can jog your memory, make sure you come with your toothbrush. Don't, even if you forgot your toothbrush, please don't use the toothbrush which you find in the bathroom. Please tell your host, I'm sorry, I forgot my toothbrush. Is there a way I can go and buy? or something like that? Or is there a new one which is spare, which I can use? And if it comes also to ladies, probably you have also forgotten your sanitary pants. Please be open to your host and tell them you have forgotten. Don't go to an extent of using the toilet papers and then you mess up even with the clean sheets, and only for your host to come to realize there is a heap of toilet papers which you have used when you could have actually be open. After all, there is nothing unusual when you have got your menses unaware. That one is accepted, but be frank and be open. Then another point is the issue of weather. Wherever you are going, please ask your visitor, ask your host, how is the weather in that place, so that you go prepared, so that you don't go and bother your hosts to give you a pullover or a raincoat or something like that. You have not even carried an umbrella. It is very important to understand the weather. And then the final point is that you don't become so pickety when it comes to food. That is choosy. When you are afraid, when your host bring food, you say, no, I don't want to take this one, I don't take this, I don't take this other one. Please, it is very important for you to be careful when it comes to food. And then, lastly, you may be in a place where the cultures are different, the norms and values are different from your values, and norms and behavior are very different from your host. Please make sure you don't make derogatory remarks about their behavior or even their eating patterns. Otherwise, thank you very much. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe, and if you have subscribed, share with your friends, and also you make a comment. Otherwise, thank you very much, and make suggestions for other topics. Thank you. I appreciate you. You are so dear to this channel.